This past weekend, a group of nationalists disrupted an open lecture of communist-era opposition activist Adam Michnik at the Higher School of Social and Technical Studies in Radom. The university guards managed to thwart the attempts of a bevy of masked individuals outside the lecture hall to join the hecklers inside. The occurrence comes at the heels of another incident at the University of Warsaw, taking place during a lecture delivered by prominent ethicist Professor Magdalena Środa. A disguised group which stormed into the lecture hall engaged in boisterous behavior, chanting offensive slogans. Scuffles with the university guards ensued. No one was hurt and no major damages were incurred, leaving many observers to consider the occurrence a one-off minor incident. Meanwhile, actors orchestrating these events declare they will not abandon their violent ways in what they call their fight for free speech. Such sentiments are further fueled by the nationalists' leadership. On its Facebook profile, gathering nearly 19,000 followers, the xenophobic All-Polish Youth Organization has released a set of guidelines on how to carry out such operations at universities. Chancellor of the University of Warsaw, Professor Marcin Pałys, hopes violence does not become the new model of discussing political issues in the country.
I hope it's not going to be popular entertainment for any of the political organizations, but I think that we should really discuss what's the aim of all these type of actions. Are we going to discuss the political issues or are we going to fight against each other? There is no added value in fighting, and I really hope that those who are going to participate in the political discussions could leave out the violence and could just join the lectures, join discussions and participate as a member of the audience. This is the aim why we organize discussions, why this type of discussions is arranged at all.
Leaflets scattered by the nationalists on campus make it clear that the action was taken in retaliation for a rejected application to hold an event, an alleged debate hosted by the nationalist political leadership on campus grounds the previous week.
I think that we should clarify one thing. There was no debate with nationalistic movements that were arranged by the Independent Student Association. It was just a presentation prepared by the leadership of the political organization. So there was no discussion about having a debate.
This
is an attempt at transferring hooligan-like customs to universities. It is a threat to freedom. I find it very disconcerting, and I believe decisive administrative steps need to be taken. As a historian, I know that in the past, different circles sought to implant their radical ideology in universities, rendering them the hub for political confrontation, which always had dire consequences in the end.
Says presidential advisor Tomasz Nałęcz. Natalia Sineaeva-Pankowska, activist from the anti-fascist Never Again Association, shares this view, claiming that the extreme right should be completely excluded from public debate, as this would only serve to legitimize its ideology.
The situation with Środa, of course, it was very worrying. It shows that the problem exists because extreme right started to go to mainstream, because they are not only on the margin, but they want to go to mainstream. They want to be debated in a normal institution, in academic institutions. They want to legitimize themselves, their ideas.
Prime Minister Donald Tusk has expressed his deep concern with the incidents taking place and the trivialization of the problem by a number of public figures.
The biggest threat will be posed if we pretend nothing is happening. If we all, including university chancellors, leading opinion and policymakers and the media, do not take decisive action, then in 1 month or 6, not only will they continue to be verbally aggressive, but they will also resort to physical assault.
Meanwhile, the Brown Book, a regular report issued by the Never Again Association on hate crimes in Poland, points to an escalation of violence in the past 2 years. For the first time, the document reported 4 murders committed on xenophobic grounds.
A recent report, which was published last week, shows increase increase of hate crimes, increase of racism in Poland, increase of violence against migrants, against minorities, against people who look or dress differently, against people with disabilities.
How drastic is the increase?
According to Brown Book, it is reported 600 hate crimes. But of course, we should not exclude the situation when some hate crimes are not included into Brown Book, because some people who were attacked by neo-Nazis, by extreme rights groups, they simply don't go to police, they simply don't say anybody that they were attacked.
Attempts aimed at inciting fear among academics are already beginning to take effect. A debate on civil partnerships featuring liberal Palikot movement MP Robert Biedroń, a homosexual, has been called off at the Gdańsk University by the organizers and not the university chancellor, as the spokesperson has stressed. As unemployment is up, social discontent is growing. The disillusionment among young Poles may increasingly become a fertile ground for radical ideology. Natalia Sineaeva-Pankowska has no doubts that the far right may soon be vying for power. All this in a country where foreigners comprise less than 1% of Polish society, a country where the suffering inflicted by nationalist ideology remains in living memory of many. I'm Alicja Baczyńska for News from Poland.